Howdy. Got a little bit of prefabricated steel in the service truck here. Three by 3 3/8 wall square tubing, 1.5 inch, 3/16 wall square tubing, some 2-inch pipe, some angle iron. So what's cracking here is we're going to the landfill and we're going to work on a conveyor basket. We're going to install a conveyor basket that they bought what this thing does, it feeds tires into their tire shredder. Let me get you set up right here. How about that? I think we're ready to roll. How about Super Service Truck? You ready to roll?
I'm always ready to roll with the sexy stud like you, big boy. Let's go.
We're off like a prom gown. So, about, I don't know, a month or so, 2 months ago, I don't really know, I was doing some other work there at the landfill, and they mentioned to me at that time that they were thinking of buying one of these conveyor baskets to feed the tires into the tire shredder. And they were asking me about building one. They've got one there that they've had for quite a while. It works really good. It works better, probably way better than the long conveyor that they had beside there. We could probably go back and look at some of the video from the landfill, and you'd see maybe both of those conveyor systems. But they asked me then about building one, and this is a product that there's a company specialized in building stuff like that, and they're mass producing these things. And probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned here in the last year or so, since I haven't been serving the drilling industry, one of the biggest lessons I've learned, if there's a company that is mass producing a certain product, it is extremely hard to custom fabricate that product and compete with their price on it. Most of the time, a mass-produced product is being sold for the price that it would take you to buy the materials to build it. They've bought this conveyor system, and what's going on now is there's a little bit of welding and fabrication work that's going to need done in order to install that system. That's where I come in. This is a time where what I'm going to do for them and the price they're going to pay me to do it, that's a win-win for both of us, because my price will be reasonable on this installation and I'll make a profit. You know, for the time I put into it, I'll get an hourly rate that I'm okay with. I just moved my truck over here where this assembly's at. Let's check it out. Right there's a piece we just made. Got it in there. That's all pretty ketchup and mustard looking right there. These beams they drilled and cemented in there, they're going to do a thing like this. See this one? Of course, this is brand new. That's their new assembly right there. Feeds those tires right into that shredder. But what I'm seeing is, if you look at the way that one is with the I-beams and the bend blocks, the I-beam is right on top of the two vertical beams. And it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that here. If we put our I-beam right on top of this, it's going to hit this assembly. So we're going to have to do something different. Like that. You see, I marked the miter the other way up there. This one is shorter than the other one. I'm just cutting it off at the end of that plate. That one's shorter, this one's longer, but it looks like the gusset we want to put over here needs to be longer. So I think that one over there is going to go right here, and that one is going to go on the other side. So we'll try that. There's how we cut that off, and those two miters make these. And I asked, you know, if they wanted base plates put on here, but they actually want that to stab into this to stop. He's saying if it's got a base plate, it'll slide, and he don't want it to slide. He was saying it would stab into that blacktop, and that's what he's wanting it to do. And that was funny because I didn't know there was blacktop under here. I thought it was mud, but there's blacktop. He wants that beam to stab in there, you know, if somebody, they shouldn't be backing into this so hard that it bashes into that, but obviously somebody's gonna at some point. So the piece of beam from the top of the other side is this one over here. They got switched. This one's longer, but that made it where they fit good. It's looking pretty good, you know, for used parts and working with what's here. It's not positioned perfect. The ones they got in the ground aren't perfectly plumb, but for what it does, it doesn't matter. I think it's gonna be good. Now I gotta weld this, and that's what I'm gonna do right now, is weld that up on both sides. So that's the plan. here so it can move a little bit. This ramp is not fastened to that conveyor. It's only fastened to the stand. Alright. Well, we got that wrapped up. That worked out pretty good. I think it's going to do them a good job. There's one more little thing there they're going to need me to get some material and do, and I'm sure stuff will come up here and there. I've been back here several times doing stuff. One thing that's a whole lot different in today's business, you know, they didn't really used to be such a big deal, is, you know, the way it used to be, you kind of got a lot of stuff done with the people you had because you could have your people do about anything. The way that workman's compensation is nowadays, and you know, there's just so many regulations and so much with OSHA and safety and all of this type of stuff. You know, that a place like where I work today, in the past, you know, they would have a lot of guys, they would have a lot of their guys do a lot of the kind of stuff that now they're better off hiring a welding contractor to do. And the reason why is really, if you get a guy hurt doing something that he doesn't do every day, you know, your workman compensation stuff is going to go up. If that guy's got to go to the hospital, it's going to go up even more, depending on how bad the guy got hurt. If the guy was doing something that OSHA doesn't allow, hell, next thing you know, you might have OSHA in there. Well, if you hire a welding contractor to come in and do that type of stuff, you're torching, you're welding, you're grinding, it's on that contractor if he gets hurt. Just like when, you know, me as a contractor, if I go to someone's facility and I do some work and I get hurt, it ain't their problem. I'm not on their comp, I'm on my comp. So, you know, that's something to consider. They had a guy running a grinder not too long ago. Well, let me show you. Yeah, like that. That's a 4.5 inch cutting wheel on a 4.5 inch grinder by a guy that don't run a grinder for a living, and it got a hold of him, and it's not good. Whatever he was doing is not worth it if that happens. And you know, that's just kind of something to consider. It's the way of things today in our world of OSHA and safety and workman's compensation. A lot of stuff you're better off hiring somebody like me to come in and, you know, let me worry about it if I get hurt, or if I come to your facility and I set the place on fire. That's why I pay liability insurance, you know. If something like that happened, I'd be liable. You know, if you got a guy running, you got a guy, one of your employees running a torch, he catches a place on fire and burns it to the ground. If that guy works for you, it's your problem. So just something to think about. That all went good today, all done, and we're heading home. This truck's filthy. I got a truck to wash. Y'all have a good one.